Giuseppe, what property strategy should I do and what can I do to invest in property so I can grow sustainably? Well, in this video, I'm going to cover how you can diversify your property portfolio where you can maximize profit and reduce the risk. So when you start in property investing, one of the main things I hear a lot is, what kind of strategy should I do? Now, generally you follow the shiny penny syndrome. If you don't know what it is, every time you see a new shiny property strategy is going to give you a lot of money, then you say, you know what, I shift my attention to this property strategy. I'm going to learn everything about this. I'm going to pay thousands of pounds for courses, and then I'm going to be massively successful. Wrong, sorry for that. But the reality is, if you don't focus on one property strategy at a time, you're going to follow every single time the new trend and you're never completing a task. So if you do this in your daily routine, change that one as well. Because if you can't complete one task, if you can't focus on one single task, there's one beautiful book that I recommend to you from Brian Tracy. It's called Eat That Frog. If you cannot eat that frog, which is the biggest task that you have, then you cannot follow up on the other tasks either. Property strategy investment is exactly the same. So you need to see which property strategy matches your personality and your budget, because if you have, let's say, £1,000 budget, probably you cannot buy a full property, but you can control it. So there are property strategies with little money, let's say, that you can build a business. And then these are lease options, exchange with delay completions, rent to rent, assisted sales, joint venture, deal packaging. There are so many others. But what I'm trying to say to you is, if you have a low budget, focus on properties with low budget to start with. If you have a bigger budget, then focus on properties. They are more expensive. They can give you a better return if you do, for example, a buy-to-let, a service accommodation, a flip, or whatever you want to do. Or if you focus on commercial, of course you have a higher yield, but there are other things to consider when you invest in commercial properties. So my main point here is diversify, but only when you master a property strategy. So start with one, see how you feel, see if you like it, because you probably have one buy to let and then you say, you know what, I don't like this. I'm going to give it to a letting agency. By the way, we do have a letting and estate agency in Sterling if you're interested in, but you can give it to a letting agency. They can manage it for you. You forget about everything. You go back to your 9-to-5 job and that's it. You have it as a hobby. What I don't want you to do is to have it as a hobby, because otherwise, why am I here? I'm here to teach you exactly the steps on how to invest in property so that you can create a second, a third, a fourth source of income that can bring your family to a different lifestyle. Whether you have a family or not, it doesn't matter. If it's you that you want to bring to to a different lifestyle, a better lifestyle, go on holiday, spend time with whoever you want, wherever you want, at your own terms, then property investing professionally is the right path for everybody, for you. How can you diversify the strategies? Let's say, for example, you started, you like it, and then now you want to go to the next level, okay, next strategy. What I would say is, do not focus just on buy-to-let. For example, you can have 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom flats, or you can have family homes, houses. You can also include in your portfolio service accommodation strategies, self-catering accommodation or short holiday let or rentals, whatever you want to call them. So where you advertise your properties on portals, online travel agency portals, for example, Airbnb, Booking.com, HomeAway, VRBO, etc. You rent the property per night rather than per room, like in a house of multiple occupancy. Now, of course, you have buy-to-let, you have family homes, you have service accommodation, you can have HMO as well, houses of multiple occupation, and you can have commercial as well. What I would say to you is, as I said at the beginning, do not do everything at the same time. Okay, do one, buy it or control it, make money. Once you master that property strategy, you're making money. Now it's time to learn about the next property strategy. The good news is you can learn whatever you want. Nobody, and I would say nobody, was born with the skills and the knowledge. Everybody is a blank canvas. We have our own personality, but we don't have the skills and experience. How do you do that? By making mistakes. Now, if you can avoid making costly mistakes, that's perfect. And how can you do that? By finding a mentor or speaking to the right professionals that done this before. One thing I would say is do not follow the advices from people that never did it, because they will tell you, first of all, the wrong advice. Second, they will probably tell you don't do it. The reason why they say don't do it is because they don't do it. And of course, they love you, they care about you, but they don't want you to get hurt or to lose money. But the reality is they don't know how to do it. So always pair with professionals, get a mentor. This is super important. And then you can move to the next level. Now, let's say now you have 2 or 3 property strategies. You're starting to see how the market is changing. Now you can benefit from every single market change. For example, during pandemic, we had buy-to-let, we had service accommodation, rent-to-rent, etc. Service accommodation business went down during pandemic because Airbnb and Booking.com cancelled all the bookings, which means we didn't have any revenues for the summer, which were all the bookings that we were counting on. Of course, we had the direct bookings, and I can cover this in another video, but direct bookings are super important for you to keep the bookings and to save a lot of money on fees. But let's say in that particular case, they canceled all the bookings. Luckily, we had some direct bookings that we could move to the next year. But if we didn't have the buy-to-let property strategies in our portfolio, if we didn't have the rent-to-rent, if we didn't have the other strategies, the buy, refurbish, refinance, we would be closed down, okay? So that's why I say to you, diversify, because that can give you flexibility when the economy changes and when the market changes. Another thing I would advise is to leverage everything you can. So you can manage your leverage. For example, if you have mortgages, I'm assuming you're going to have a lot of mortgages once you are in the property investing career, you're doing it professionally with a mentor possibly, then you don't need to gear yourself too much. What I mean by that, there is a loan to value, LTV, and you have to calculate the loan to value below a certain percentage. For example, lenders give you a 75% mortgage, so that's 75% loan to value, and you have to put down the 25% deposit. If you calculate across your portfolio an average of loan to value about 60, you are okay, which means you're not geared too much. If you have a loan to value of 80, the lenders are going to stop giving you the mortgages and the remortgages because you're becoming too risky, basically, for them in their eyes. So always, if you can, reduce your liability in terms of loan to value. If you are remortgages, don't leverage the whole percentage, okay? Try to keep it down a little bit so you can then leverage more, because you can get more mortgages, more properties, more rent, and more income and more capital appreciation. Now, one thing I want to clarify is when you find a property, there are 2 things you need to consider. One is the cash flow, so the rental income. The other one is the capital appreciation, how the property value will go up over time. There are properties that are perfect for cash flow and properties that are perfect for capital appreciation. If you get both, you hit the jackpot. So obviously, it's not a unicorn, it's possible, but you need to invest in the right area. If you don't want to find properties yourself because you are time poor, don't worry, there are property sources. However, as I said before in previous videos, make sure the property sources do the due diligence for you, okay? Not just give you the property, sell you the deal, and then say to you, you do your own due diligence, I don't care anymore. So always trust sources they have done a proper market research. For example, if you are in big cities like London, capital appreciation is great, but cash flow is very, very little compared to your the price of the property you're paying. If you are in Scotland, like we are at the moment, or in the north of England, or outside London, I would say, cash flow is a lot better because you pay less for a property and the rent, will cover for that. But then if you buy, for example, outside of the cities, the capital appreciation is slower. But if you buy in the city center or in the skirts of the city, then the capital appreciation is higher. Again, if you are in a developing area with new shops, new buildings, new cinema, etc., then the capital appreciation will go up. So the value of the properties will go up, which means your property will also go up. And if you want to remortgage, release some equity, that's a perfect way for releasing some cash tax-free, and you can invest in more properties. Remember, don't spend all your money in holidays. Make sure you invest on assets first that can pay for your liabilities. If you have a liability in mind, for example, an extension to your own house, or a new car, or a holiday, or whatever you have in mind, wait. Invest in an asset first. The asset is going to produce you a monthly income. The monthly income is going to pay for whatever liability you have in mind. I hope it is being useful. If you like this video, comment below, subscribe. My name is Dr. Giuseppe Palladini and I'm the founder of Stampy Bricks. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.